What is up, guys? You're listening to the MFCEO Project. I'm your host, Andy, and I am the motherfucking CEO. Guys, this is an entrepreneurial podcast. One of the biggest things we struggle with as a podcast and getting this message out is helping people understand that even though you may not own a business, you may not be a CEO, you have to look at your life as if you're an entrepreneur. Okay, you are the CEO of you, and I want you to be the motherfucking CEO of you, which means you go through life with confidence, you go through life with swagger, you go through life having fun, enjoying yourself, and being very successful in the meantime. Now, a lot of things that we talk about on the podcast do have to do with people who own companies. They're people who are legitimate CEOs, presidents, high-level executives, entrepreneurs. And today I want to talk to you guys who are employees. I want to talk to you guys who might be at the bottom entry-level positions of a company. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit different of a thing. When you start out, and a lot of guys feel hopeless because of this, okay? They feel like, man, I'm at the bottom. I'm just starting out. It's going to take me X amount of time to get ahead, or I can never get ahead, or I can't see where I'm going to fit in this company long term. And a lot of that comes from frustration because of lack of patience. On the other hand, there is a lot of jobs out there that you might be working that have no future for you. Okay, and today I want to talk about the difference between those two things. You may not be somebody who's going to own your own business, and that's okay. Not everybody can do that, and not everybody is going to do that. In fact, the statistics show most people aren't. Most people are going to have quote-unquote regular jobs. So if most people are going to have quote-unquote regular jobs, it's important for you guys listening to understand that which jobs are going to be the ones that are going to be right for you. And I want to give you a couple things to think about today, all right? When you're getting into a company and you're at the bottom level, there's a couple key things that you want to be focused on. Number one, you want to focus on, does this company have upside? Okay? What is the upward mobility of my opportunity in this company? Is this company going anywhere? And guys, there's a lot of companies out there that just aren't going to allow you to move up. They're already established. They're already big. They already have as much growth as they're going to have. And you may move up to you may not be the lowest guy on the totem pole, but you may move up to the next position, assistant, associate, director of the associate's assistant to social media and newsworthy information assistant. But dude, that's not where you want to fucking be. You want to be able to move up into a high level, high value, high pay position, a career opportunity if you're going to trade years of your life for that. Am I right? I know I'm right. Okay. So how do you know if this is the company for you? Okay. Well, first let's look at the way the company is laid out. Let's have some awareness. Is there other people I can meet in this company who have started out at the very bottom and moved through the program? Is there upward mobility in scalability of the company? Can I move from, fry cook to burger cook to owning a store? Okay. These are important questions to ask yourself. All right. You have to be able to recognize whether or not there's opportunity. All right. And here's the difficult thing with that. Every company that you apply to is going to tell you, we have great opportunity here. We have tremendous opportunity here for you to grow. But the reality is most companies are fucking lying to you when they tell you that, because they need people to work and you're somebody who can work. So they tell you this shit so you will work. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you guys have to be smart enough and on top of your game and aware enough to be able to see through that nonsense and actually pay attention to what the company is doing, not what they're saying. Because it's real easy to promise a pie in the sky. It's real easy to promise all this shit. But when you look at the reality of the situation, you have to be able to make the decision, if the company's actually going to follow through on those promises. Is the company going to actually grow? Is the company going to actually take care of me? Do they care about me? Do they care about my family? Do they care about other people's family? Do they care about other people in the company? And you have to be able to evaluate that on your own, because the company's going to fucking lie to you. That's just the reality. Okay. The next thing that I would encourage you to take a deep, hard, long look at is how long has the longest guy been there? How long has the longest person been there? What do they have to say about the company? Where did they start in the company? You have to take the position of, I'm interviewing the company. And I'm not saying you walk in the fucking interview and you say, oh, hey, I'm fucking interviewing you, because, dude, they're going to tell you to get fucked. But what I am saying is that once you're in the company and once you're, dedicating your blood, sweat, and tears and life to a company, you have to be able to evaluate whether or not this company actually fucking cares about you or not. All right? You've got to make that decision on your own. And you've got to make the decision on if they're telling the truth. And what's the easiest way to tell if someone's telling the truth? Pay attention to their actions. Pay attention to their history. Do they show a history of growth? Do they show a history of telling the truth? Do they show a history of taking care of their employees? Or are they just blowing a bunch of bullshit up your ass so they can get you in their system for 6 years or a year or 2 years and let you just pour in all your hard sweat and labor? Because I think that as a CEO, this is something that I feel like most employees are concerned with, and what holds them back from giving their all, okay? And when you don't give your all, it doesn't matter what position or what company you're with, you're not going to be successful. And what I've seen happen many, many times is that people lose trust in a company, so they don't give their all, and then the company says, hey, you're a shitty worker, and then they get fired. Okay? It's a vicious cycle that people get into. So what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that if you're picking the right company, you should feel good about going all in for that company, knowing that in the next 10 to 15 years, you're going to have a legitimate, well-paying, important, valuable part of that company. And if you don't see yourself doing that in 10, 15 years with a company, you're in the wrong fucking company. All right? I'm trying to get you to avoid the vicious cycle of being an employee that goes every 3 years, gets frustrated, and quits. All right? Pick the right company from the get-go. Here's another important thing that you can look at. Is your company a market leader, or is your company a market follower? Pay attention to the things that they do. Are they innovative? Do they do things original? Do they take great care of their customers? Or do they not care about their customers and only care about selling shit? Do they copy things that other companies do in their same space? Do they try to be just like so-and-so? Okay, because here's the danger in that, guys. When you try to be just like so-and-so, like a lot of people, they'll come and pitch me ideas for companies, and they'll say, Andy, I've got this great idea, and the first thing out of their mouth is, it's just like Uber, but it's this. Or it's just like Best Buy, but it's this. And they have like they have a plan in their mind in the same space, and they're trying to be just like this other company. And guys, here's the problem with that. And this goes for the same thing if they're always trying to copy other companies that are ahead of them in the game. Guys, when you fucking copy somebody else, realize that you're copying their decisions from 2, 3, sometimes 5 years ago. And what that ultimately means, because that's how long it takes the end product for the public to see, to materialize, what that ultimately means is that you're always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years behind the leader in the company. And if you're an employee and you're in a model like that and you work for someone who thinks a good idea is to take someone else's shit and just rip it off, you're always going to be 5 years behind too. You're going to be just with them. So why would you waste the next 5, 10 years of your life going to battle with someone who doesn't fucking get it and is never going to get it? All right? Guys, you have to be smart enough. You have to be aware enough. Don't be a fucking sheep, okay? Evaluate what you're doing. Evaluate your position. Evaluate your upward mobility. And let me say this. Understand that growing a company, with all the things I've just said, you have to understand the flip side of this. Understand that growing a company takes time, okay? understand that even if you pick the perfect company to be a part of and you pick the perfect job to take, you've got to understand that building a national or international brand is going to take time. Now, good thing for you is it takes less time than ever. But the important thing here is to pay attention to the commitment that the owners, the CEOs, and the decision makers have made to that growth and to their employees, okay? If that's there and you've seen a history of that and they continue to show that that's the direction they're going, you're in a good fucking spot. You can feel good about pouring your heart and soul into something. But if it's just a pie in the sky promise and a bunch of bullshit that someone's thrown in your face to get you to hustle as hard as you can for the next year or 2 years, dude, in 2 years, you're going to be out of a fucking job being pissed off that you wasted the last 2 years. All right. So I'm trying to save you guys some time and give you guys something to think about. Constantly be evaluating and be aware of the position you're in, the direction the company's going, the role you're playing in the company, and understand that you need to avoid the vicious cycle of what I just talked about, the entrepreneur. I don't have a name for it, man. I need to fucking name this somehow. But the hesitation of going all in as an employee because you don't 100% believe in the direction of the company and you think they're taking advantage of you, and then you don't give 100% and then they say you suck and then they fire you. You see what I'm saying? This is the importance of why you need to pick the right spot so that you can fucking go in and go all in, because if you don't go all in, you're never going to be successful no matter where you are. All right, guys? Look, always be aware, always keep your eyes open, always keep your radar on. A lot of times, man, you know, and I hate to say this, dude, is that business is filled with fucking snakes. It just is. It's filled with a lot of people who could talk a lot of good shit, and it sounds good. It sounds good. But what is the history? What is the direction? What is the real history of this company? Are they properly funded? Do they know what they're doing? Are they innovative? Do they allow for upward mobility? How big are they trying to grow? Do you see yourself fitting into that model? Do you see yourself enjoying that model? Do you see yourself doing this for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? Where is the company going to be in 40 years? Guys, there's so many things you can ask yourself, but you have to make sure that you plant your fucking ass on the right rocket ship. Because if you're on the wrong one, it's out of your control. And that's the bottom line. So guys, that's my talk for you guys today. A little bit different than a typical Thursday Thunder. It's for you. This is aimed towards you young guys who are, you know, you're not owning your own business. You're not owning your own shit, but you're trying to find the right one to commit to. Dude, you got to do it with your heart, man, but you've also got to do it with your brain. Don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let people use you. Make sure you get in with the right family. Make sure you get in with the right people, because if you don't, man, it really doesn't fucking matter what you do. All right, guys, I love you. Thanks for the support. We'll see you on Tuesday. And in the meantime, don't be a fucking bitch.